Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's me, Storm, and today's video I actually have a topic for. Um, Today's topic is my dog Bambi. Bambi, come here. Come here. This is my dog, Bambi. Female. I know. You're probably thinking Disney, the deer, boy. Well, girl. So, this is Bambi, also known as Bam Bam, Bambarina. She is a little 6-pound Chihuahua. She is baby. As you can see, she is not bothered or fazed by me holding her like this, although she doesn't like staying this way too long. She does put up with it, as you can see. She's looking at her food right now because I'm doing something, I guess you could say, special with her food. So this is my dog Bambi. She is approximately 10 years old. She is, from what I was told, a fawn deerhead Chihuahua. I got her from a family friend, and they got her from a different person. I've had her since 2012, and when I got her in 2012, she was roughly a year old, approximately. Sorry, little thing you'll notice with me is I say so, and sorry a lot. So, like I said, there we go. Anyways, I digress. So like I was saying, Bambi is a approximately 10-year-old Chihuahua, give or take. I got her from a family friend, and they got her from a different family, and the family that had her before was apparently a couple. From my understanding, it was a younger couple, and they had Bambi and another dog that was supposed to be her mate. I was told that it was a Mexican Chihuahua. I didn't know that there was a difference. I thought all Chihuahuas were, I guess, Mexican. I don't know why I did that. Anyway, but it was another dog a little bit bigger than her. Not a whole lot bigger than her, but it was supposed to be her mate, and it was a male. And it was apparently a boyfriend and girlfriend, and the male dog was supposed to be the boyfriend's dog, and Bambi, the female, was supposed to be the girlfriend's dog. Well, apparently the girlfriend decided to rehome both of them together as a pair because the boyfriend was being abusive to his dog. And from just speculation and observation, I'm assuming the boyfriend was most likely abusing Bambi behind the girlfriend's back. Like I said, that's just speculation and observation. I don't actually have any proof of that. I never actually met the people, because by the time I got Bambi, she was already in the care of the family friend, who at the time, they had like 7 or 8 dogs already. And my mom was talking with the mom of that family. I was in the room with one of the daughters. Well, the only daughter. There was 2 boys and a girl. So I was in the room with the girl, hanging out. And my mom was in the living room with the mom and dad of that family that was our friends. And they got on the conversation somehow of how Grandpa was wanting to get a small dog, like something like a Chihuahua or something like that. And the family friend, the mother of mother of that family, was like, we're actually trying to downsize because we have 7 or 8 dogs here. I forget what it was, but they were like, we have 7 dogs or 8 dogs here, and we actually have some more dogs out at my mom and dad's because that person's mom and dad lived out of town. They were technically still like town, but like the outskirts of town kind of thing. So they're like, we have actually some more dogs out there, so we're actually trying to downsize. So why don't you see if your dad wants this dog? And they were talking about Bambi. So mom decided to call me out because they informed us that Bambi does have some issues, And so Mom wanted to run it by me and see what I thought before she called Grandpa. So I go out and I was like, yeah, Mom. And Mom goes, so they're offering to let us take Bambi for Grandpa, but here's the thing. She was in a previously abusive home. She has a very strong distrust of men specifically. She doesn't trust females off like right away, but she warms up to females way faster than males. She has a very strong distrust towards men. So we would have to work with her and help Grandpa work with her. Um, they told us this kind of stuff, So I was like, from what I've seen, we've only been here a few hours and, but she seems like a pretty good dog. I've got to pet her a couple times. She is kind of skittish, but she's let me pet her and she's really cute. She seems like a fairly good dog. So I'd say go for it. We know what we're doing. We've worked with dogs with abusive pasts before. So call him, see what he thinks. So Grandpa and Mom talked and Grandpa's like, yeah, go ahead. Because like I said, Grandpa was wanting a smaller dog at the time. And so we ended up taking her home, and the daughter that lived in that family decided to spend the night because we were friends. And so she decided that it would be a good idea since she didn't have school, because I was already out of school, but she's a few years younger than me, so she's still in school. And it was a weekend, so she's like, since I don't have school in the morning, why don't I go stay the night just to help Bambi kind of adjust for that first night? And we're like, yeah, that's a great idea. You can spend time with me, hang out. We haven't seen each other for a while, and like you said, you can kind of help Bambi adjust a little bit for the very first night. So that's what happened. And then when we took her back home, it was just me, Mom, and Grandpa with Bambi. And if I remember correctly, we had another dog at the time, but it was a bigger dog, if I remember right. I could be remembering wrong. But trouble is, Bambi wasn't really bonding with Grandpa because she has that big issue with men, and Grandpa wasn't really making her stay with him and get used to him. I put in a lot of time and effort to work with her to make her feel more comfortable and safe in her new environment because I had the most time and the most patience, and Grandpa wasn't at that time very adamant about making her stay with him for short periods. So we would put her on his lap, and she would immediately get down, and he wouldn't try to make her stay even for a minute or two until she got used to him, kind of thing. So Bambi ended up becoming my dog. She wasn't supposed to be mine. She was supposed to be Grandpa's, but the way the cookie crumbled, she became my dog. We were also informed that the previous owners before our family friend were not feeding her or her mate dog kibble or like a dog food diet. They were feeding her a people food diet, and it wasn't a very healthy one. It was a lot of like ground hamburger and hot dogs and things like that. No real nutrition to it other than the fact that it was protein, and that's about it. So they weren't really giving her anything else. They weren't really giving her any like vegetables or anything like that, which I get they're dogs, but they do need some nutrients, like, from other things other than just like hamburger. And they said that when they gave her to us that we would have to work with her on that they were trying, but they were having a really hard time getting her to adjust to being on kibble. So when I first got her, it took me probably about a year to get her adjusted from human food to dry kibble by itself. And I say that because I started off with taking some just dry kibble that we had, just a small little amount, and mixing it in with like hamburger and all the grease. And then I would mix in chicken, like canned chicken or canned tuna the next time. And other times I would like take hot dogs and mash the hot dogs up and mix it in with the dry kibble with some broth. And, eventually I was able to go from adding all of that to just adding the grease from the hamburger or just the like water from the canned chicken and tuna. So it still had kind of that chickeny flavor or tuna flavor without actually the meat. I was able to then switch her to just broth, so I can make like bouillon cubes or the powders or whatever into cups, or buy like the boxed already made bouillon, and was able to use chicken broth and beef broth and just soak the dog food in it for a little while. And eventually I was able to break her of that and got her onto just the kibble by itself. And I had done quite a bit of research because I wanted to try to get the best kind of kibble, because I had at that time learned that there is quite a large range of kibbles, and there are like your top grades, and then you got like your really low grades, just like we have with people food, you know? We have like our high-end food and like our really low processed foods, and it's very similar with dog kibbles. So I had done some research and found one, especially since she was really picky, because one, she was still adjusting, and two, she's just a picky dog. And so we ended up going with the brand Taste of the Wild, the Pacific Stream, which is like a salmon and something else flavor, because we had discovered that Bambi really likes kind of like the salmon, fishy, and chicken kind of stuff. Those are kind of more of her preferred preferences. So we ended up going with that one, and she was loving it. And we were doing really great. And like I said, it took me probably about a year to get her to that point of just plain kibble by itself with no added anything. And about August of 2013, we ended up moving to Oregon. My mom and I, not Grandpa, just my mom and I. And we were doing really good, and we ended up getting an apartment, and we were doing great. And then in basically August of 2016, so basically 3 years later, I decided I want to move back in with Grandpa, who was still living in Montana at the time, because that's where we lived at the time before Mom and I moved. And I decided, I was originally supposed to just go for a visit, and I decided that I want to move back in with him for my mental health reasons. And so Mom's like, you know what, that's fine. You're a grown adult, because at this point I was in my 20s, and she was like, that's fine. You go ahead and do that. Well, that's okay. You know, I'm going to miss you, and I love you, so you're going to have to stay in touch. You're going to have to, like, call me and video call me and all that stuff, you know. And I was like, of course, Mom, I love you. It's not like I'm just disappearing or anything like that, you know. And so I ended up moving back in with Grandpa, and we were still doing good. Bambi was still eating the kibble and stuff. And then April or May, I forget, of last year, 2020, I ended up moving again because Grandpa was moving. Grandpa decided he wanted to go live in Oregon, and I decided that I was going to go live in Idaho, which is where I live now. And I'm living with my aunt currently. And we were still doing really good with the kibbles. Several years later, we're still doing really good. Up until recently. We have decided to switch brands of dog food for cost reasons. It is a little bit cheaper to get a different brand. It's still a pretty good brand for being kibble. Which, yes, I'm aware, if you can afford to do what's called a raw diet and you know how to do it properly, it is by far the best method from my understanding. However, that's not something we can afford, so we try to get the better end of kibble within a reasonable price range. So we probably get something kind of in the middle ground. But anyway, when I first moved here back in April or May of 2020, my aunt had 2 dogs that weren't technically hers. One was supposed to be my 9-year-old nephew's, and he wasn't, at the time he was 8, but he wasn't really taking care of the dog the way he was supposed to, so my aunt was doing most of the work. And then my cousin, my aunt's son, was also living here, who is just a few months younger than me, and he ended up moving out, and when he moved out, he moved into a place that unfortunately he wasn't able to take his dog. So my aunt was taking care of his dog as well. So we had 2 dogs here when I moved in, and they were bigger dogs. So they ate more. So she would buy big bags of dog food. And I had 2 dogs at the time. I had Bambi, and I had another dog named Razmataz, who unfortunately had to be put down this year. Sorry, I got emotional a little bit there, and trying to refocus. So, snow, or last year, early this year, I don't remember. I think it was last year. Some dogs from an apartment complex on the other side of our fence ended up getting out and broke into our fence, because at the time we had basically like a wire kind of fencing, and they ended up breaking in through our fence and ended up killing my cousin's dog, unfortunately. So we ended up having just my 9-year-old nephew's dog and then my 2 little dogs, which my nephew's dog is a Border Collie Blue Heeler mix, and my cousin's dog was a he was a pit bull, what was it, a pit bull, I think it was a pit bull hound mix, if I remember correctly. I could be mistaken on that. But they were both really, really good dogs, and unfortunately, like I said, that one ended up getting killed from a dog attack that broke into our yard. So we ended up having just my 2 and the Blue Heeler Border Collie. And then a couple weeks ago, I had to put down one of my dogs because he was about a year younger than Bambi, so he was approximately 9 years old. He was a Dachshund mix, primarily Dachshund, and he came from a very abusive past as well. That will be a different video if anyone's interested in him, which I no longer have. But if anyone's interested in him, he'll be a different story of his own, or a different video of his own. But he was put down a couple weeks ago, and now it's just Bambi and Buster, which Buster is the Border Collie Blue Heeler, and a puppy, because my cousin just ended up moving back in a while ago, and he decided he wanted a puppy. Well, he didn't decide he wanted a puppy specifically. He decided he wanted another dog, and the way things played out, he ended up getting a puppy that is a Border Collie Blue Heeler Husky mix, and the puppy's now like 9, 10, 11 weeks old, something like that. So he's still a really young puppy at the moment. So we have to have separate bowls now. We have to have the adult dog food for Buster and Bambi, and we have to have a bowl for puppy food for the puppy, whose name is Demon. And Bambi has resorted back to either eating no kibble or only wanting to eat the puppy kibble. And if you know anything about dogs and kibbles and the diets, puppy food is for puppies for a reason. Adult dog food is for adult dogs for reasons. And then, of course, you have your different versions. You have, like, your small breed, your high energy breeds kind of thing. You know, you have all these different kibbles for all these different reasons. And Bambi was doing just fine with the regular dog food originally. But now Bambi will only eat the puppy kibble. And so I thought, okay, well, maybe she's eating the puppy kibble because it's smaller. It's really small. So I thought maybe that's why she was eating the puppy kibble, because she doesn't have the best of teeth. She's never had any dental care, and I've tried brushing her teeth with doggy products that are for, like, brushing doggy teeth. She won't let me do it. I fought with her. She won't let me. So she doesn't have the best teeth. Some of them are chipped, like broken off, so that there are only parts there, or some of them are completely missing, or some of them are just really, really tartared. So she has some bad teeth. I'm not gonna lie about that. If you want to judge me, feel free to, but your opinion doesn't matter to me. I know my dog. I'm doing the best I can. She's a happy dog. Okay? Anyway. Sorry. So I thought maybe she was eating the puppy kibble because it's a lot smaller kibble and it's easier for her maybe. So I ended up buying, one second, leaning forward, so sorry. I ended up buying this for her. It is the brand Nulo, and yes, it's reversed for you guys because I'm using my front-facing camera. I'm still getting used to this, okay? But I brought her the brand Nulo Front Runner. It's ancient grains, it's small breed, and it's turkey, whitefish, and quinoa recipe. And I did some research and saw that it's supposed to be one of the better brands. I know there's a lot of controversy and you can never really find like the truly best brand, but it was one that I could afford, and it was small, and it was cheaper than the one I was originally having her on, which was the Taste of the Wild, and it was actually cheaper for this than one of the Taste of the Wild ones. So I decided to try that one for her. And the very first night I got it, she ate it no problem. No issues at all. She ate it just fine. But ever since that, which it's been like 2 weeks now, something like that, since I got this, she won't touch it. And she will only eat the puppy kibble if I don't stop her, which I do stop her because it's not healthy for her. So she hasn't been eating as much as she should be, and it has me concerned because I don't want my dog getting sick and dying. So I've resorted to adding chicken broth to this kibble, and that's what I've been doing this for. You've probably seen that a couple times. I am letting it soak. So this is what we have now. Appetizing, right? It's a little bit of the Taste of the Wild one with that Nulo one I just showed you, because I didn't want to take her completely off the Taste of the Wild, because it can cause some digestion situations, causing really icky, gross runs, if you know what I mean. And I really do want to deal with that. So I mixed some and have been transitioning her this way. So it's got chicken broth mixed into it, and it's pretty well all absorbed now. Because if I just give it to her after pouring it in, she just licks the chicken broth. She won't actually eat the kibble, she'll just lick the chicken broth. So now I'm going to see if she's interested, if she's hungry, because she did eat earlier this morning. I mean, she's not a super big eater, so we're going to see if she eats. Bambi, come here. Bam, come here. Do you want kibble? Come here. No, come here. Don't run away. Come here. Do you want it? Oh, I don't think she's hungry right now. Nope. She's not hungry right now. So this batch will most likely get thrown out because I don't think she's going to eat it tonight. I don't think she's hungry. Like I said, she's not a super big eater. She's a smaller dog, and she's not a big eater in general. And she did eat quite a bit this morning. So yeah, this is what I've been doing. And I might try another brand. I don't know yet, but that's Bambi. She is a very big mama's girl, and she loves to give kisses nonstop a lot. She loves snuggles. She likes to go for walks for all of maybe 5 minutes, and then she wants to be carried. She doesn't like walking very much. She never has. She likes to basically walk just long enough to investigate different things, and then she's like, carry me. She's very much a baby. But she's a really good dog. She's got her little quirks, but she's a really good dog. And I'm going to show you something else that I got for Bambi, because the fact she is a spoiled, rotten little princess. 1 second. Ooh. I got a pet sling. That's exactly what this is. It is called a pet sling. I am obsessed with floral patterns, so I got a floral one because if I'm going to be packing her like a baby, I want it to look cute. So I got her this, and inside I have a little baby blanket for comfort and if she gets cold, because she gets cold very easily. It has this giant mesh thing that also has this so that you can close them completely in, or you can close it so that it goes around their necks so that their heads can poke out. She really actually does love it. I'm not even joking. She loves being carried. She loves being packed. So this is one of her favorite things because it's got a baby blanket and she gets to be carried. It has a little zipper pocket right here that I can fit my whole hand in. And right here, you can see my finger poking out. That is actually so that you can feed headphone cords through it. So that way, if you have a phone that still takes the headphone jacks, you know, or like an iPod or MP3 or something like that, you know, some sort of music playing device that can fit in this little pocket and takes cords, you can feed it through here so that you can actually have headphones. I most likely will use it actually for little doggy bags. I'm not gonna lie, I will probably feed it through so that I have little doggy bags coming out of it. But it is advertised in for headphones. It's a pretty good pocket though. And then it also has over here on the strap coming down another little pocket that I don't know why, but it can snap open and closed, but from the thing, but there's no actual like purpose that I see for that, so I'm not really sure what the reason for that is, honestly. But it zips open right here, and inside I actually have a little reusable doggy diaper because she sometimes has little tinkle accidents, and I plan on taking her with me more when I go places, and we're going to be going on vacation. My aunt and my nephew, my 9-year-old nephew, and I are going to be going on vacation this July, and we're actually going to be taking her with us. And there will be a couple of times when I'm going to have to leave her in the car for a short period of time. And when doing so, if I return, even if I'm only gone a couple of minutes, she will still tinkle out of excitement. If she gets scared for any reason, she sometimes tinkles. So I have little doggy reusable diaper. And I also will be having preemie disposable diapers because I put the preemie disposable on her and then I put that over to secure it in place just for extra protection, because sometimes if she pees a lot for any reason, it sometimes leaks through. So I do a disposable preemie baby diaper. With that, I just have to pay attention to what brand I get because she has somewhat sensitive skin. So some brands cause rashing for her. So I have to pay attention to that. But yes, I do have this. And it also has this so that you can actually hook it to them. If you haven't noticed, I have company. I got a Bambi who is trying to figure out how to get in her bag. She genuinely loves it. There you go. She's trying to figure out how to situate herself because the net's kind of caught on her. Hold on. Let me help her a little. Well, since she wanted in, let me demonstrate this part of it. So like I said, you can do this and you can close that so that she can't get out. And then you just make sure your strap is done right and voila, you now have a dog in a bag. It's a little bit awkward sometimes just because there's no like firm bottom. So sometimes it's a little skittywampus for her, but we adjust. And then you just, I'm sorry, I'm not doing this on camera very well. You adjust it as well like that, and now you can have her little head poking out, which is how she prefers it if I'm going to be packing her around like a store. She prefers her head being out. She does not really like being completely encased in it. So, yeah, she thought we were going to go somewhere. Sorry for that. Yeah. Come here. Say hello to the peoples. To anyone that watches it, say hello. And yeah, she is completely hairless pretty much on the bottom. She has a little bit of like tiny peach fuzz. But other than that, she's pretty much naked on the bottom of her. From like her whole underside of her neck all the way down. It's pretty much naked. I've had a vet look into it and they basically told me it was just from stress from previous home or whatever. Because that's how she was when I got her. I think she wants to go outside though. So I guess that's the end of this video. That's Bambi. Bye.